What is up, everyone? This is Juicy Hockey with Gordo, and I am your host, Gordo, in the house. Today, we're going to be talking about the last night's bloodbath, dumpster fire, Boston Bruins against the Florida Panthers, and NHL draft lotteries tonight. And we're going to be predicting who's going to get number one and the line of order. And we're going to be talking about tonight's games on the doctrine. And let's talk about the first topic of the day. Something not flavorable, but it's a bad taste that left out of my mouth last night. All right. So the first game one. So the Boston Bruins, they won 5-1. I mean, they just got done playing, 7 games against the Maple Leafs, and they were well prepared. But the Panthers, they were, little unbalanced, and they were well too rested for the whole entire week, and there was lots of rust to get off. And I gotta say, I felt the lineup was a little off. I feel that Reinhardt should have been on the first line and Kachuk on the second line, and I just didn't think it worked out well. And the first period, it felt very well. It was a good tempo. Panthers came out swinging. Panthers got the first goal by Kachuk, and Barkov got the assist. And then Boston comes in about 67 seconds later. And I thought it was goalie interference, but they're going to call it a goal anyway. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I did not like that crowd. That crowd was very depressing. I mean, where do you find all these Boston fans? I mean, are they really from Florida, or they're just too cheap to buy tickets in their hometown? I get it. It's their religion and all that stuff. I mean, the Garden's your church for the winter and all that stuff. But I just felt it was very unsatisfying for game one for the Florida Panthers. Give credit to Jeremy Swayman. Jeremy Swayman playing out of his mind. A .955 save percentage. I mean, he's healthy. I mean, the Bruins had healthy goaltending this time. Last year, they were all banged up and injured, and coming down to the stretch, and they couldn't bury the cats in the desert, or in the swamp, I should say. Yeah, it was, an eye opener. Boston, they were playing. They like I said, they were playing. Just got done playing Toronto, and they kept rolling along with it. The Panthers, they were well too rusted for the week. As the old saying goes, when one team is still playing while the other team is taking a week off, it comes to show that the team who's been playing since game 7, 48 hours ago, were more prepared than the team that had a week day off, basically. And, it's just going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a gentleman's sweep, but if I were the Florida Panthers, I would get Lomberg back in that lineup, and Bennett in as well. It makes a huge difference for the Florida Panthers. Bob, he played well. He made some great saves, but, they just kept burying it. And give Carlo some credit because, he scored his first playoff goal of the playoffs, and he's a first-time new dad. Congratulations. And it was, like after that fourth goal by Boston, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. It wasn't juicy. It wasn't sweet. It was just utterly bad Irish Boston sweat. Not like the Guinness kind. It was just the most awful sweat drink. It just didn't taste well. It just made me like, give me some some thing to clean my mouth, It's just like disgusting. It just if I was an owner of an NHL team, if I had a majority crowd of the opposing team, I would just say make sure you bring your IDs, because if you're a resident of Massachusetts or wherever and you come to our building, you're not allowed. You are single-handedly not allowed in the building. You've got to be a resident of the state of Florida to come in and watch some playoff hockey. Yeah, you're going to make up some zip code and all that stuff in Palm Beach or Naples or Jupiter or whatever just to come and watch, the Bruins play and all that stuff. Get a life. If I were you, South Florida, I know we're in a tough economy right now. Splurge on getting playoff tickets for game 2 on Wednesday night. We need to have a majority Florida Panther house. We do not want any more Bostonian sports fans in our barn. It's embarrassing that, Bruin fans are obnoxious meatheads. We get it, like we've seen your reputation, You guys are a bunch of the biggest homers, like biggest homer since Homer Simpson. It's a damn shame, like Panther fans and South Florida sports fans need to step up, come in there, and make sure it's all red in there. No black and yellow, none of that. No, no, no. I just gotta say, I feel like this is gonna go to 7 games, the way I'm seeing it right now. And I know Boston played pissed off, and I know how the Bruins played, against the Panthers this season. The Bruins were basically undefeated, but the Panthers, they've got to be quick. They got to make sure you're pumping goals in there, and you got to find a way to beat Swayman. I know Swayman's got very unique talent, but if I were you, Florida, I would just keep firing. Follow your shot. Don't let that SOB cover the puck. Make sure you get the rebound, read the shot, bury it, and make sure, you break it entering the house, just like the city of Boston itself, squatters and all that stuff. You got to break in. You got to break in and entering, That's the only way you're going to do it, against his goaltender. I know he's going to be he's currently one of the most favorable Conn Smythe Trophy winners, like predicting so far, but it's too early to tell. But the Panthers need to step up. It just left no imagination, no taste last night. It was a bitter, salty taste. It wasn't juicy and sweet enough to watch this game. Yeah. And, Boston, like I've learned a lesson. You never trash talk because, it fuels them, like the weaker your trash talk, the stronger the person is, but it's by versa opposite. When we trash talk and we get down deep in their blood, oh yeah, they feel the weakness and they feel the agitation. But no trash talking. No trash talking. I learned a very valuable lesson on that one. The Panthers need to step up, and they got to get it done ASAP. And nobody wants to watch a Boston, New York conference finals. Nobody does. I don't want to watch it. I hate those markets. I don't like the Rangers. I don't like the Bruins. Yeah, I'm an original 6 guy. I'm a Detroit Red Wings guy, but I hate New York and Boston. For the hell of it, I would like for them just to beat the living crap out of each other, like just like 2003, like dugout brawl, throwing old people, it's just like, come on, like that. The only way I would watch a potential Bruins Rangers conference finals is that there's a bench brawl and everyone just beats the living hell out of each other. The coaches, the GMs, the trainers, equipment staff, just beating the living hell out of each other. That's the only way I'm going to watch this matchup. That's the only way if that happens. If the Bruins and the Rangers just beat the living hell out of each other, like from players, trainers, staff, whatever. Now that right, and then each city having a little war against each other, that would be funny to watch. I would watch it. And at the end of the day, it's still a young series. I believe the Panthers will bounce back tomorrow night. We'll be right back after these messages. Coming up, we're going to be talking about who's going to get the number 1 draft pick in this year's draft for the Scalabrini sweepstakes. Stay tuned. We are back for Juicy Hockey with Gordo. Here's something juicy for you. Before the 2 games we're going to be watching tonight, it's the NHL draft lottery. Boy, I love the lottery, It's basically one of my favorite hockey events of the year. A turning point for any struggling franchise that wants to be, how I say this, relevant again, great again, something new, brand new, like a face of the franchise that can change the whole dynamics of economically, franchise value, the recognition, the relevancy, everything, everything's on the line. And lottery winners, there's always been that subject of hits and misses, busts, superstars. I mean, looking for example, the Pittsburgh Penguins with Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, Steven Stamkos, Patrick Kane. I can go on. I can simply go on. Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Connor Bedard. I can go on with all of it, but there's been some infamousy. That there's a reason why I bet the lottery, because in the 1993, Ottawa Senators tanked their games on purpose to get Alexander Daig trying to be a bust and Nail Yakupov bust. Eric Johnson, he's somewhat borderline. Rick DiPietro. There's some guys who are big busts. I mean, oh yeah, don't forget Joe Thornton, superstar right there. Vinny Lecavalier, Patrick Stefan, bust. Ilya Kovalchuk, superstar. Rick Nash, star. Marc-Andre Fleury, superstar. Let's see. John Tavares, star. Taylor Hall, average. Let's see. Nugent Hopkins, above average star. Aaron Ekblad, star. Austin Matthews, superstar. Nico Hischier, star. Ramis Darlene, superstar. Jack Hughes, superstar. Lafreniere, above average. Owen Power, above average, becoming a star. Yaroslav Slavkovsky, becoming somewhat of a star in Montreal. And like I said, Bedard. But anyhow, we've done our simulations, 500 simulations of certain teams. So this year, we're going to go numerically from 16 to number 1. So drum roll. With the 16th pick, the St. Louis Blues. The 15th pick, the Detroit Red Wings. The 14th pick, the San Jose Sharks, formerly the Pittsburgh Penguins pick from the Erik Karlsson trade. Number 13, the Minnesota Wild. Number 12, the Philadelphia Flyers. Number 11, the Buffalo Sabres. Number 10, the New Jersey Devils. Number 9, the Calgary Flames. Number 8, the Utah Yeti Hockey Club. Number 7, the Seattle Kraken. Number 6, the Ottawa Senators. Number 5, the Montreal Canadiens. Number 4, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Number 3, the Chicago Blackhawks. Number 2, the Anaheim Ducks. The winner of the 2024 NHL Draft Lottery belongs to the San Jose Sharks. Macklin Celebrini will be a San Jose Shark late June in the NHL Draft. And I got to tell you, I've heard that Scalabrini has played for the Sharks youth travel program in the past, and it's no coincidence. He's a West Coast kid, and it's a perfect marriage. It's a perfect situation. San Jose is looking for someone who can regenerate a franchise that's had a lot of respect for over the years, with consistent playoffs, in Marlowe and Thornton, of getting into Nabokov, making it to the Cup Finals in 2016. And San Jose's been falling on very hard times right now. They've got one of the bottom 5 attendance in the NHL. And, Doug Wilson basically just gambled a lot of his picks away, and it was costly. San Jose could have had Stutzel, but they traded that pick to Ottawa to get Erik Karlsson, and that was costly. And we all hope that Scalabrini can reignite, and for the Sharks' sake, it's the Bay Area is looking for some new fight and bite, because right now every team can swim in there, but when the Shark sightings are coming back and one Shark takes down an opponent, oh yeah, we're gonna see a bloodbath for the ages. San Jose Sharks are looking to have a new success and a new face of the franchise right now. They've got some good prospects, in the NCAA, in Europe, and juniors, and in the minor leagues in the Barracuda system. I believe San Jose is going to be a perfect fit for Macklin Celebrini, and he's a Hobie Baker Award, and he's one of the youngest players to win it. And I believe, Macklin Celebrini will be an immediate impact for the San Jose Sharks. And and the Sharks will be a very exciting team to watch. And our profile is going to go from low to high because Macklin Celebrini is going to hopefully resurrect and make the Sharks great again. And I gotta say, let's see if the blood is juicy enough for Macklin Celebrini, a big shark bite for the Sharks to be a great and respectable organization again. We'll be back after these messages. Coming up, we'll be talking about our Hart Trophy finalists and then our major matchups for tonight's second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Stay tuned. We are back. So we have heard now the finalists for the MVP, the Hart Trophy of the NHL, the most valuable player this year. Here are 3 nominees for this year in the 2003-2024 season. We've got Edmonton Oilers center Connor McDavid, Tampa Bay Lightning forward Nikita Kucherov, and center for the Colorado Avalanche, Nathan MacKinnon. So quickly, we're going to be saying that Nikita Kucherov has led the NHL with 144 points that made him earn the Art Ross Trophy already with 44 goals and 100 assists. Just simply wow. 44 goals and 100 assists. I mean, 100 assists. And Connor McDavid, who's already a 3-time winner of the Hart Trophy this season, he's finished 3rd place, and he's another one, 100 assists. Boy, we've seen 2 NHL players with 100 assists this year. Unbelievable. 32 goals and 100 assists, 132 points. And Nathan MacKinnon finished 2nd in the points with 51 goals and 89 assists. And that is a new career high. And I got to say, that right there, we've got 2 100 assist leaders and all players who are in the top 3 in the point statistical area. Boy, I got to say, I don't know who's going to win this one this year. It's very juicy right there. It's juicy to have 2 players with 100 assists each. I mean, I don't know who's going to win this one. It's going to depend on where do these guys finish off? McDavid's in the second round already. Kucherov, he's been eliminated. And MacKinnon, who's still playing as well. So, could you imagine you got 2 Hart Trophy finalists and a potential conference final matchup, a potential between the Colorado Avalanche and Edmonton Oilers? That would be a fun matchup. People would kill to watch those 2 play, McDavid and MacKinnon. 2 Hart Trophy finalists play against each other in the conference finals. Everybody would be glued on because they'd be tuned in. They'd be like, wow, what a fun matchup, a potential conference final matchup. Whoever wins that series could win the MVP award, the Hart Trophy. Whoever wins the series and makes it to the Cup Finals and wins, that right there will win. I don't know who's going to be. I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to leak it out to the press and all that stuff. We're going to see a fun MVP caliber talent by the final 2 who are in the playoffs right now. As for Kucherov, he played a wonderful season, and he is definitely a hard worker and an MVP candidate. But MacKinnon and McDavid, those 2, are the real finalists so far. Whoever wins, who gets deeper in the playoffs, the deepest, will get the Hart Trophy this year. We'll be back after these messages talking about our matchups for tonight's games. We are back to conclude for today's episode. So we're previewing tonight's matchups between the New York Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes and the Dallas Stars against the Colorado Avalanche. The first matchup we are seeing is the Carolina Hurricanes against New York Rangers. Game 2 tonight. And here's what we got here. So we've got the Carolina Hurricanes at a -125 against the New York Rangers +105. And like I said, this matchup will go back and forth, back and forth. This series is going to go to 7. I'm not going to be surprised by it. Carolina will come out swinging. And I got to say, the over and under is the curiosity we would like to see for this matchup. We would love to see what we got here tonight. And I got to say, we are excited for this matchup again. two of the best metropolitan teams. And I gotta say is the over and under is 5.5. And I believe we're basically gonna be teeter-totting almost there. I'm gonna say this will go probably 7-goal game, and Carolina Hurricanes bounce back 5-2 against the New York Rangers. This is going to be a back and forth game. 5-2 Carolina Hurricanes against the New York Rangers. I know that the save percentages aren't going to be pretty for the goaltending, but I wouldn't be shocked that Mika Zibanejad and Trocheck and Panarin do something on the score sheet, and Lafreniere as well. Think about the underdogs and under the depth chart in the bottom three and in the top pair in the defense. By Carolina, I wouldn't be surprised. Soshnikov and Aho will pump up the brakes, and they will do their jobs. And I gotta say, Carolina is ready to pounce, and I believe the Hurricane is going to become somewhat of a nice category. It's good, and the category is tied series for tonight's game. And after this one, we're going to be talking about tonight's matchup between the two biggest rivals in the Central Division. These two teams have been fighting it out for the last few years since everything came back to normal in the realignment of the scheduling in the division lineup. And I gotta say is we're going to see Dallas and Colorado go at each other. It's going to be a juicy series, a very underrated, underappreciated series. This one is definitely going to go to 7 in my taste. And Dallas is going to be my team I'm picking for this one. And for tonight's game, we're seeing that Colorado Avalanche are at a +110. Meanwhile, the Dallas Stars are at a -130. And I got to say, Dallas has got the goaltending, but Colorado, they're dangerous all around. The Avalanche are a dangerous team all around with Nathan MacKinnon, and he is the MVP finalist. Jason Robertson, White Johnson, those two have been their best top two players so far. And then the over and under is a 6.5. I believe this is going to be somewhat low scoring for game one tonight. Dallas will prevail with score 3-1. Dallas Stars will win tonight against the Colorado Avalanche 3-1. I trust Dallas more. Dallas, we've seen what happened, like last night, we all watched the Panthers Bruins game. The Bruins came out flying after the Panthers scored the first goal. A 1 week worth of rest means that they're rusty and they were unbalanced and uneasy with each other. But like Boston, they were trucking along and they were basically running on fumes. I believe that Dallas has got the advantage for tonight's game. They're going to be running on fumes. They barely got any rest, but listen, they've got home ice advantage and they didn't have to travel. And I see Dallas as a favorite to win this game. And I mean, Colorado, they've been off for a week. They just obliterated Winnipeg. They caused an avalanche on their naval station, whatever we call it in Winnipeg. But I gotta say, it's gonna be a close game tonight, 3-1 Dallas Stars. I'd like to thank my viewers. I'd like to thank everyone who's been helping me out with the show. We'll be back tomorrow to recap the games and recapping who wins the draft lottery and the juiciest news and rumors in the hockey world today. Thank you very much and have a great hockey day. And it's always a great day for hockey.